Welcome to Wrestling is Hard, where every side is the dark side of the ring. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Email questions and complaints at wrestlingishard@gmail.com. I'm Jim. Brandon, Chris. Hello, Brandon.
What up? Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year, yes. Resolutions, you got any?
Do I have any resolutions? Nothing that interesting. I'm going to try to get down from about 185, where I'm at now, to 170, hopefully. I was like 195 a couple months ago. Get a job. That would be big. I've been unemployed for almost half a year at this point. So let's start with those two. How about you?
Chris, how's your resolutions looking?
I don't make resolutions. I did. No, I was thinking about one today. I have to just get all this shit. We have a business plan, and I have I think a good business plan. And I was flipping through reels, and I don't know if you're aware who Gary Vaynerchuk is. He's you probably know he is, right, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all these guys, I'm not one of these guys that follows is really stoked by inspirational speeches, but I will listen to people who are successful and how they think. That's a different story. I don't get like, you walk in the sand, two men walking, one makes it, and sun and beach. Brother. Yeah, I don't buy into that shit. But so, and he said, if you're lucky enough to have, and I happened to see this video this morning, he said, if you're lucky enough to have to really enjoy something that you're good at, then just be fucking tunnel vision on that. And that's pretty much my, just keeping that thought in the back of my head. It's just to not get kind of knocked off course, because I had goals that weren't able to be met, blah, 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 but fuck it, just keep going through it. But other than that, and that got really fucking serious for 5 seconds there. So I apologize.
The, who is it? I think it's, said this. Actually, a pro wrestler said this. She said, if you have goals and you fail at your goals, that's not failing.
No.
Not trying is failing.
I think that was Steve Regal, wasn't it, with that big speech he gave when he was talking about things? I don't know. You posted it 1 year ago. And it was shit he was talking about. Yeah, and I think that was in it.
Yeah, you got to try.
Yeah, you just got to keep
if
going.
You don't try, then you failed.
Yeah.
Trying something and doing it and not being able to do it is not failing. You tried. So I'm gonna try to do nothing. Sure. No, I'm
gonna try to fail. It'll fucking be so successful.
You get to a certain age, and the New Year's resolutions aren't like lose weight and stuff like that. It's more like, retirement fund. Got to work on that. Got to get my kid started on her retirement fund.
Yeah.
They get more boring, but it's like the darkness is closing on the light at the end of the tunnel. Is death, and it's coming soon.
Yeah.
And somebody's got to clean up the mess when you're gone. So you got to make sure that you're set up for it, because you're not going to last forever.
Yeah, we know somebody who's going through that, cleaning up that mess when you're gone, and as an outsider looking in, it is not fun.
Yeah, it's not fun.
So no, that was funny you mentioned that, because I actually did think of one, and that was when we were we've been through this a few times. I was telling you about this, about getting the loan to buy the truck out of the lease. And I'm looking through stuff, and I'm like, dude, how the fuck did you get yourself in a position where this was even a thought?
Right.
Where this wasn't just snap your fingers and it would happen. And I said to myself, never do this again.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then after I said that, and it requires not spending money on dumb shit.
What do we got? We got a big reveal. Here it comes.
Megatron that turns into a hiss tank. With the Baroness. But I had ordered that a while.
It came with the Baroness?
Yeah, she's up top. See her?
I see her. Yeah,
she's hanging out in the hiss tank. Can't figure out how to transform it.
So that it looks cool.
Like, oh God, why is it doing this?
Let me bend this a little bit. Oh God, it broke.
No. Well, I'm at the point where it's like, does that bend? No, it doesn't. Just put it away. So, but I ordered that a while ago. That was before my not spending money on dumb shit.
It's my time of year. I'm excited. I watched so much fucking wrestling over the last week. That's all I did. And movies and TV. My wife has COVID, so she's stuck at home. So she's watching TV. But I've been up in my room, in my beautiful office, as you can see on YouTube. So lovely. Pink, purple, whatever. And watched it on my laptop. Watched Ice Ribbon. Watched Noah. What else did I watch? all kinds of stuff. The Choco Pro. I was watching Choco Pro. I'm watching all the pro wrestling, but I also watch Stardom. So let's talk about Stardom. Stardom Dream Queendom 2022. It's their big. I think they're promoting it as their big show now. Basically, like WrestleKingdom. Now it's Dream Queendom 2022. It's the second year they're doing it. Pretty big fucking match. Of course, highlighted by Giulia versus Syuri. You know what? We can just dive right into that. We're talking about a 3-year long fucking story here. 3 years it took to build this story. Finally face off Syuri, the red belt champion, is defeated by Giulia. Crowning achievement. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this was a big build. I say it all the time, how the Japanese do a much better job of subtly building till it becomes huge. It's not necessarily meeting in the ring, whereas it's meeting, it's well, I mean, it's like I just said, it's more subtle. It's not this constant, I fight you, you fight me, I fight you, you fight me. I pull apart in the back, all this shit where we're constantly in each other's faces. They actually pull off the throttle and then they go hard back on the throttle and then they pull it off. So there was a lot of anticipation. They have a tendency of building tension more like tension is built in real life. And it shows. And this goes, as far as I'm concerned, this goes for Stardom and New Japan. Both do a great job of this. Giulia was all over Syuri. It wasn't like this was going to be some type of thing where she was afraid to fight. I guess what would be considered, I don't know if they kind of go this way. You'd correct me if I'm wrong, but Syuri being the MMA fighter would be considered, in my opinion, maybe the more dominant of the two, or the, if it was a pick'em in gambling parlance, that you would look at Syuri, and Giulia is not going to be shy because of that. So she's all over, and Syuri after a while looked like, she had this look on her face like she was going to die before she lost that belt. So, I mean, there was so much going on, and it was at the end of such in my opinion, a great card, that, the only thing I could say to wrap the whole thing up is that this had everything you could want in a championship match. It had a great build of a great feud. They didn't rush anything over the course of this entire feud. And it, with I find all things Giulia, it tends to have a tremendous amount of emotion that you can actually buy into. So, I mean, this could have stolen match of the year they could have stolen match of the year at the final days of 2022, in my opinion.
Yeah, interesting thing about this match, and yeah, I agree on that. This is definitely in the discussion when we talk about match of the year, and maybe show of the year too, because the show is top to bottom was a lot of fun. But there's all this build, this 3-year build, with the injuries and everything, and the creation of her own. She comes in and she's got this. She's the outsider. They book her as the outsider. She comes in and she has to prove to everybody that she belongs. Her first feud is with Hana Kimura, which ended tragically. But the first thing was Hana Kimura basically saying, like, you don't belong here. You do not belong here. You're not one of us. And that's where they started the feud off. As it builds up, she gets injured. She's got the run with the white belt. She's going against Tom Nakano, who is like the personification of Stardom intensity. Cute on the outside, but a fucking monster on the inside. They have this feud that goes on for a while. She gets beat by Tom. Tom has her crowning moment. You build through this. She builds her own stable. She's got people coming and going. She has people betray her. Mai Sakurai joins her. She has Mirai leaves her. Syuri leaves her to form her own faction because she couldn't be in the shadow of Giulia as the red belt champion when she becomes a red belt champion. Then this whole year built around Giulia. Prominence comes in. You get the whole build around Prominence and Suzu Suzuki. So you have that whole build that goes through the summer, and you build to that. And Giulia wins the 5-star championship, which you kind of felt was going to happen, but they built so much drama into it, and then now she's champ. And there's like little things, like if you pay attention to the match, there's little things that are going on. All her gear was like, if you looked at it, it was all like parts of her group's gear. She had like one of her bra parts was Himika's, the other one was Maika's. She had like the black leather on that fucking Thekla wears. She had the Mai Sakurai, like almost looks like a tie-dye stuff. Like she built this all together. Like she was doing this for all the. She used Himika's finisher. She did the avalanche powerbomb, which was awesome. Somebody sounds like they're beating the shit out of their microphone. It was good. I don't know who it was. Okay, so then another thing that Chris mentioned that you mentioned was that she came into this and she dominated this match. And we talked about it over the course of the year. And the way we were exposed to it was that Syuri was this dominant fighter. She's got the MMA experience, striking, submission. And there was one person that exposed her. And, we've talked about it before. It was Risa Serra, where it was like, in the world of professional wrestling, particular Japanese professional wrestling, pro wrestling is a form of martial art. That's how they portray it. It's a little bit of bending the rules, cheating, using weapons, waiting for the ref not to be looking and doing stuff. Giulia pro wrestled her. Risa Serra pro wrestled her and almost won. She got choked out and almost died. When people pro wrestle, quote unquote, use pro wrestling against Syuri, that's when she's vulnerable. That's the way to beat her. Giulia takes her to the outside and does a fucking falling side suplex on her onto chairs off the ramp. It was fucking insane. But that set the tone. Giulia was going to do anything, even if it meant killing herself to win that title. And Syuri was going to die in the process. And that's what you got. Yeah, Chris.
No, hella match. Fucking banger, right? I mean, what more could you want? And they build it. There wasn't a letdown here. This lived up to all of his expectations.
It's yeah, the one thing is like, we're talking about, a lot of people are talking about it. Maybe people that aren't exposed to Stardom as like the greatest women's match of all time. I mean, I there's a lot of women's matches that I really love through the years, but this was definitely like the cherry on top of the Giulia story. You know what I mean? Like this was a great match. She's had great matches all year. She's got to be in discussion for Wrestler of the Year for sure. Like just if you were supposed to use like storyline in part of your, deciding who is the MVP of 2022, she's involved in everything. If it's not her, it's it's the stuff with Suzu Suzuki, who revolves around her. It's Saya Kamitani with her, trying to prove that she belongs at the top with the white card. But like Giulia, it's always been Giulia. She walks into a room, she looks like she belongs. She's the star. No one else shines as bright as she does. You know what I mean? Like she looks like a professional wrestler. Brady, you got any thoughts on this?
I don't know that I have anything to add since I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. It sounds like from what you guys are saying and what is to be expected, a story that takes that long and the anticipation around it, it's really important to convert when you're in that moment. I think from what I read about it, I think in the final sequence there, Giulia taking the time to kind of pay tribute to the story, the people that got her there, all of that stuff. Really, really special stuff from what it seems like. I can't wait to watch it, but I'll let you guys continue from there.
Yeah. Final thoughts on the match, Chris?
No, I think we hit everything.
Yeah. We'll go through some other stuff that happened on this card. Zumi beat Hikari Shimizu she's, I think, about to break the longest high-speed title. It was a warm-up match. It was very good, but it was whatever. But so Mina Shirakawa and Unagi Sayaka come out and they beat Mai Sakurai and Thekla in a tag match. Mina Shirakawa, it's her first match back since she got her face broken by Saya Kamitani, by her foot or knee or whatever the hell happened. She tells Unagi Sayaka she doesn't need her anymore, and she now has formed her own faction called the Venus Club, I believe, with the two of the most British-looking women I've ever seen in my entire life. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, look, this was a fun match. She was selling that jaw pretty hard the whole time.
Yeah,
it did get a little bit, started getting into camp version of selling the jaw a few times, but at least she was doing it. As we watch wrestling so often and it'll come up later in this card actually, because it happened here where they don't sell shit, and it's just so annoying. And I think Thekla and Sakurai, they look great. They looked like they were super aggressive, but
they went after the jaw too, which was nice.
Yeah, they were just constantly going after the jaw, which is good storytelling, things that make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Good match. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. And Mina Shirakawa says she's not leaving Cosmic Angels, but she has formed her own faction. With the girls' names are Mariah May and Zaya Brookside, who we know from NXT. And she was in Stardom before. Mariah May, I am unfamiliar with. But yeah, they sure are British.
Isaiah Brookside, is that Robbie Brookside's daughter?
Yeah. She was in NXT UK for a minute. She got like when they shut down that shop.
Yeah, because why would close it?
Yeah. Another thing that happened of note was Natsukatora fought Himika and Maika, who fought Emi Sourei and Mirai in a three-way match. Number one contender for the tag championship. Himika and Maika won, so they're the number one contender. Kairi in a non-title match, draw against Utami Hayashishita. Chris, thoughts?
So this is where we were going. This was a great match. It looked like Kairi was almost, because she's not as Hayashishita is very aggressive.
Yep.
And Kairi does such a great job of working babyface and heel. It almost like she slid into the babyface role here. So she's definitely in what do we call that? Like midi range. She can work with whatever she has to in whatever position. There was a point in this. I mean, look, it was cool. It opens up a lot of stuff. I think that the result of this match was prepackaged.
Right. I talked about it a couple weeks ago, and I said this screams draw.
Yeah, there was no surprise here. I mean, maybe if we got the only thing, it was either draw or Kairi getting the win. The one thing, and I just brought this up before, and this is what I was talking about. You have Kairi in a sleeper hold to the point where she's almost unconscious and then gets out and gives an insane elbow.
Right.
Which I was a little bummed out about because, I think maybe, look, you're going to see these, let's call them holes with every organization, but we were so spoiled with Stardom that they don't do them that much. And when they did, I was a little let down. But, I mean, I'm a big fan of anything Kairi. So this was, like I said, another good match, especially since we knew the ending.
Right.
Be able to pull that off and not have it just be like a foregone conclusion. To actually do a good job of we know what the ending is. How are we going to get there? Superman's not going to beat the bad guy, right? How do you tell the story of getting there and you can still make it interesting? So,
or that he's going to beat the bad guy.
That's what I mean. Superman's going to beat the bad guy and you still go and want to see him do it. So Good job.
Yeah.
I think that's just to chime in there. I think that's a good way to kind of have your cake and eat it too with this card where you have the main event to carry the whole thing regardless of what else happens. You still get this awesome 15 minutes to check out and you're saving so much for 2023 with that.
Right. Artist Stardom title.
Can I make a point real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just thought of something. So right to what Brandon said, though, it just made me think of something. It's one of the things that they do in the United States where it's like they don't give enough time. Stardom seems to give just as much time to everything going on the card, right? So you have a vested interest in every match that's coming up. If you don't want to watch it, if it doesn't grab you, fine. It's not going to grab everybody. But when you watch things like, always bring them up, WWE, even AEW, they focus so much on the top of the card that everything in the beginning is like, why are we here?
Right.
What am I doing here? I'm waiting, and especially it's one thing if you're watching an hour show, a 2-hour show. Okay, fine. This is the undercard. Maybe we'll see something cool, but I have no interest in it. So fuck it. I'll, eat Batman calzones until I throw up. But with Stardom, they do a great job of everybody gets the time that they need to move their story. So, you're completely reliant in the US on the two people in the match being able to put something together that will not garner your attention, dude, that will yank your attention into the television while you're watching it, which is a very difficult thing to do. If you're checked out when a show starts, you're probably going to be checked out when a show ends. Right? My wife was watching reruns of House of the Dragon, right? And there were little bits of it because we were both doing stuff in the house, and there were little bits of it where I would stop and look, and I'd be like, that's kind of cool. And then I would walk away because when I initially watched that show, I got lost and I didn't care. I was just like, this is kind of dumb. I don't feel like watching it. So it's very difficult to get somebody back once they've kind of tuned out, or they're not even tuned in to begin with.
Right.
And you're relying so heavily on that. And here they're getting you involved before it even starts. This way you're sucked in, and you're not having to win somebody over in the middle of a 7-minute match on fucking some shitty pay-per-view in the middle of the year.
Right. Final thoughts, Brandon? Retort anything?
No, I'm good. I'm excited to watch it. I have a feeling this is going to jump. Sounds like to the top of some of our end of year awards pretty quickly here. So.
And we still got matches to talk about. Artist Stardom title, hardcore match. Mo Watanabe, Saki Kashima, and Starlight Kid lose to Team Prominence. Haragi Kurumi, Risa Sera, and Suzu Suzuki. Starlight Kid brought a bike to the ring and ran over the entire Prominence team. It's fucking amazing. Great
And
stuff.
I think if you go back, she rings the fucking bell.
And she goes,
While she's doing it. And that's what she was at. She fucking made the noise. That's right.
She did.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. We talked about the big match, and that was what it was. It was probably one of the it could be match of the year, right? We're all in agreement.
Mm-hmm.
This was my favorite on the show.
Yes.
Because it was just so fucking stupid. And you knew
we love dumb on this. That's Wrestling is Hard.
Yeah.
Podcast. We love the dumb shit. We fucking love it. The overbooked crazy shit. I fucking love it. Go ahead.
When you have me staring at the TV with a big smile on my face at a wrestling match that involves the fucking Elite, just because there's Christmas trees and shit involved, it shows my enjoyment of when you do really dumb shit. And not only do you do dumb shit, we're going to give you a wink and a nod that we know it's stupid, and this is why we're doing it. And you also have Momo and Starlight and who else was in that one? Saki Kashima. You have these three. I mean, Odotai in general, they're the suckers.
Yeah, they are.
They're the evil and dick to go.
They are.
They do the dumb shit that make you, and that
slapstick. They have one. They have one person that's like, they have two people that are like heavies.
Right.
They got Momo. They got Natsuko Tora. But the other ones are just there to just get to fall and do stupid shit all the time. It's fucking amazing.
And Momo can fall and do stupid shit as well as anybody.
Yeah, because she has that face when she drops her jaw where she's just like, oh, yeah, fucking great.
So this was my favorite match. They were using dumbass weapons, and on top of that, the wrestling was good.
Yeah, it was great.
So
I was a big
this
fan
was
of
my favorite match of the night.
The whole segment where Momo comes to the ring with the baseball bat. So Risa Sera grabs her fucking Aikido, right? Is that what that's called? What's the sword art?
The fucking
what's that called?
The stick, the kendo stick.
But the martial art that it's involved.
It's kendo.
It is kendo. Okay, comes in with her sword. So then Momo Watanabe gets scared. She runs away and she comes back with another baseball bat that's covered with barbed wire. Risa Sera makes that stupid face and starts running away, and she just throws her in the ropes and nails her in the midsection with the fucking barbed wire bat. This is fucking great. I loved every minute of this match. It was so much fun.
This was a really good one. Can I just do a little throwback here too? That one of the things that I've learned, it's an audible groan when I see it, is the kendo stick. It's just so old. But if you remember, and I just thought of this, it's funny to bring it up. If you remember, that started because a kid did graffiti in Singapore and they caned him.
Yes, that's why they started doing it.
And they were Kevin Sullivan.
They were calling it a Singapore caning match.
Kevin Sullivan brought it to ECW, that whack job, and it's been ingrained. It's been so ingrained in professional wrestling canon now that for some reason, when they pack all the stuff into the arena and they set up the ring and then they run out of room for shit, they pile kendo sticks under the ring because they don't know where to put them.
Right.
There's not a closet they can throw them in. Like, I don't know where to put this. Just throw it under the ring. Nobody will see it. Like it's at the point where it's like, these are the random objects that are just in a truck that comes to every town when there's a wrestling show.
Right. But with Risa Sera, it's a little different because her whole hardcore getup is kendo.
Right.
She's got the pants and the tied boobs, the whole protective chest thing.
She should wear the metal head that they wear, the cage.
She had that samurai mask with the mustache, which was fucking awesome.
What do they call that? That's a doesn't matter. Right.
Yeah, it's like a shield for your neck.
Yeah,
they don't get stabbed in the neck. Oh, it was good stuff. Got a Stardom title match. This was surprisingly fucking really, really good. Natsupoi and Tom not going to lose to Nanae Takahashi and you. What'd you think of you, Chris?
And this was a really good one. Yeah, I had notes on it, and I don't know. They didn't transfer over, so I'm just gonna wing this because I watched this one.
I have 0 notes.
Yeah, Tom Nakano, man. God damn, can anybody get slapped better in the face than Tom? There we go. I have it. I just found Tom Nakano. I have on there Tom Nakano getting slapped.
Dude,
it's almost
so swollen
like,
too.
So like you're like, oh no. But yeah, this was a really good fucking match. I mean, Tom Nakano, it was Tom Meltier is the team, correct?
Yeah, Meltier.
Yeah, they're wrestling just desperate the whole fucking time.
Yeah,
and,
not to point in particular, was just like she was the underdog. Man, you was slapping the shit out of her.
Mm-hmm. Good match. Yeah, I enjoyed this one too. I mean, Tom Nakano, like you said, man, it's like this like cutesy wootsy fucking killer.
Yep.
You know, who never really breaks the cutesy wootsy. It's not like she turns. It'd be like if you're watching, I'll go do another superhero. If you're watching like, you know, the old Hulk show with Bill Bixby, but he never actually turns into Lou Ferrigno. It's just Bill Bixby throwing fucking porta johns, mugging them. You know, and it's hilarious. This was fucking great. This was a great match as well.
Props to Nana Takahashi too. 46 years old, bumping like crazy for everybody to make him look good. She's doing great. She's been a nice addition. I like, you know, she's old school. She brings it in. I do like one thing is, and Chris, you've mentioned this before watching Joshi in general. Nana Takahashi is old school Joshi. She screams the entire fucking match.
Yeah, one never stops.
Emi Sakura is the same way. They never shut the fuck up the whole match. It's absolutely unbearable at times. And she's got such a high-pitched voice. It's fucking crazy. That's that old school shit. I don't know why that was such a trope. Why they all screamed like that. But it's still here. Until these people retire, they're still going to scream. Sai Kamitani defeated Haruka Umasaki, which we predicted was going to happen. I don't know why this match happened, except for, I guess, to get Umasaki some reps. She looked good. Looked a little clunky at times, too. This is what happens when you get a couple of people, throw them in second from the top of the card in a, you know, it's their first time wrestling, too. It was a little clunk, but it was fun. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gassed at this point.
Yeah, this was tough.
Yeah, a couple matches. It was a good match, but I was just, you know, this is definitely a victim of its placement.
Exactly.
That's all it was.
It almost seems like they did this on purpose to have Kamitani face someone that wasn't really a threat to kind of give you a gas, like a,
yeah,
okay,
it worked.
The big show is coming next. So if I'm getting a drink and I'm going pee and getting some chicken tenders, I'm going to do it now. Let me go to this match. Because it heats up a little bit at the end, but it was more importantly, okay, so we're getting Ami Sourei is facing her. So after the, you know, we'll talk about what's going on after coming out of this. So we get the trios champion, the trios tournament. It's called the Triangle Derby. That's coming up. We also have a show in Osaka. It's the first week of February. Sai Kamitani versus Ami Sourei, who is now the future of Stardom Championship. Classic, you know, Saya lost to Ami and the 5-star, so now she has to face her. We get that whole routine. But they did hint that we're getting, what's her name? With a broken face. Mina Shirakawa. Mina Shirakawa was lurking the whole promo, watching her. And the camera did a good job of getting real low on her and looking up at her. She looked pretty intense. Fucking, this broken face storyline, I think, is going somewhere. I think this is going to be, I mean, I don't want to predict down the line, but Mina Shirakawa taking the belt off of Saya Kamitani, that's pretty much written itself. Also coming out of this Triangle Derby, we got a team called, which you guys are not familiar with, I'm sure, but it's Rebel X Enemy, Rebel and Enemy. So it's Ram Kai Chow, who's, if you guys remember, was the girl with the white face that wrestled a girl in blackface at one point, which we talked about.
Yes, I remember this.
Yeah. Maiko Ozaki, and most importantly, I may be a little fan of hers. I've collected every single one of. This is how many cards of hers I have. This is my Yuki. Look at this. I might be a little obsessed with her. This is probably the best professional wrestler outside of Stardom in Japan, and she's coming over, and she's got history with Giulia, man. The year of 2023 is building on Giulia's past, catching up with her, because they're all there now. Suzu Suzuki's there. Risa Serra is there. We got Maya Yuki. She's coming in too. She's a killer. The last time she fought Giulia, you can find it. It's on fucking YouTube. She beat the fucking piss out of her in a match where Giulia was crying. She was getting beat down so much. But guess what? 2022 was Giulia's year. I think 2023 might be Giulia's year too. The story's building, and I'm into it. Chris, thoughts?
Well, if you want to see the Japanese relation with their acceptance of blackface, just Google Kinnikuman Great.
Please don't do that.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, I mean, I really can't say more than what you just said. I'm excited for everything. I had a whole rant, and I'm still planning on doing it on wrestling being exciting in 2023.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, so let's go.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Also, Giulia's first defense is against Suzuki in February, so that's going to be a banger right away. I'm into it. Brandon, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm also into it. We just talked about this maybe a month or two ago with the UFC storyline that came up that I thought was so interesting. So, similar idea. Champion, had one of the bigger years in the company's history, but looming back in their mixed martial arts past, kickboxing past, was someone that had defeated them twice that maybe, wasn't a household name on their own, but they were able to come up there, jump right to the top of the card pretty quickly, and how compelling that was. So, if these things kind of write themselves, I'm looking forward to that. I wasn't even aware of it. It's a possibility.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting too, because my Yukihi, she's not young. She's young comparatively, but she's in her mid-30s. Like, she's a established professional wrestler. She's only been doing it for like about, I don't know, 6 years or something like that. But she was, she's senpai to Giulia's Kohai. She's the one that taught her, and she beat the shit out of her back in Ice Ribbon. This is exciting. You guys should be stoked for this. She's great. The Triangles match, apparently, I saw, we're not going to get it for a couple days, but first night Triangle Derby was her team versus Giulia's team, and she looked like $1 million. A lot of people are just like, oh shit, where the fuck did she come from? She's amazing. Yeah, she's going to be worth the price of admission for a lot.
And how old is she?
I think she's 35.
So she's too old for the Bone Bag Boys?
Oh yeah, the Bone Bag Boys. Well, she bones me up, I'll tell you that. I got all these cards, they're all sticky. All of them are sticky.
Is that why you got them wrapped in plastic?
I got to pull them apart. They are. Look at them all. Woohoo! Here, that's our evil persona. Look at that one. It's fucking babe. It's one of the few pro wrestlers that I saw the first time I saw her a couple of years ago. And I saw her, I was like, holy shit, who the fuck is that? God damn. I got to watch more of her.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Yeah,
Looks like she's
right?
32.
32? Okay. Yeah. Good stuff. She used to be a bank teller. And then she went to a pro wrestling match, and one of the girls at Ice Ribbon was like, you get the look. Do you want to be a pro wrestler? She joined. Fucking bank teller. Speaks English, too, by the way. All right, let's move it on. Get excited about Maya Yuki. We're at WrestleKingdom Eve. Are you guys fucking fired up, Brandon? Are you fucking fired up?
We are within 12 hours.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. WrestleKingdom Eve. Chris, are you excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited.
All right, let's go through the card, because it's time. It's fucking time to talk about it. Exhibition match. No, I'm not going to go through all those. So we do have a King of Pro Wrestling Rambo. It's in the pre-show. They have a King of Pro Wrestling belt now. Does this excite you about King of Pro Wrestling? Listen, I'm going to say this. One of my favorite matches was that fucking, 30 pinfall match between Tai Chi and what's his name? The Dragon. I fucking love that match this year. I know you guys haven't watched as much New Japan as I have, but I'm kind of into this King of Pro Wrestling thing. Now that it's not on Toru Yano, I'm kind of into it. Brandon, any thoughts?
Yeah, it's do we know who we might see in here? There's a couple big names missing from the card.
Now, look, I got a theory on that, but we'll get to that. I guess we could talk about it now. So, missing from this card, a lot of big names. Shingo Takagi is not on this card. Toru Yano, not on this card. These are guys that have been on here, been in every fucking, like, they've been in storylines. Like, these are guys that are not there.
Right.
My theory is that Shingo Takagi might show up on Dynamite.
Okay.
Because Dynamite's filmed. Dynamite's the morning. It's tomorrow. So it's like he might be in the United States. I don't know. Interesting time for New Japan. They got
related to this?
Older guys. What's that?
related to this, he would show up on Dynamite? Related to the happenings at Wrestle Kingdom?
No, I don't think because he'd have to wrestle Kingdom and then fly over right away.
Yeah,
Time does go backwards flying back, but then he'd have to go work right away.
Not that he would show up at Wrestle Kingdom and then at this, but I mean, why would he be on Dynamite this week? Just completely unrelated to anything that happens at Wrestle Kingdom?
We might get an announcement that we still don't know what this Yokohama show is.
Okay.
And this is complete speculation. Maybe this Yokohama show is Forbidden Door 2. The Japanese, where we get some people come over to go wrestle in Japan. I don't know personally if any of these guys are a draw in Japan, unless they're the big names. Besides John Moxley, Jericho, Omega, which we know is a draw. We'll talk about that in a minute. Maybe Danielson. I don't know. Curious. I guess we'll find out. Shingo Takagi. Go ahead.
A lot of folks have been interested in Action Andretti over there in Yokohama.
Oh, yeah.
That's the word.
That's keep them away from your girlfriends, ladies and gentlemen. Keep them away from your girlfriends. Chris, any thoughts?
No, you guys covered it, and I didn't hear what you said because I was paying. So, good.
6-man match. Well, I'll just do a couple of these, and then we'll come back to it. 6-man match, Kojima, Makabe, and Yuji Nagata versus Minoru Suzuki, Tatsumi Fujinami, and a Tiger Mask.
Yeah, can we come back and talk about that later?
Opening the main show. I think this is the opener for the main show. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Title Match. Catch 22, who is Francesco Akira and TJP, for the champs, face off against the Chaos Team of Yo and the heir apparent of Rey Mysterio, Lio Rush. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, probably the match I'm most excited for this evening is Catch 2 over 2 versus Lio. Yeah, this is where it gets tough because you hype yourself up for like, okay, 1 a.m. I've been able to stay up till 1 a.m. before. And then all of a sudden it's 2:45 a.m. and we're just on to this one. And you're like, man, we got some work to do.
Chris, thoughts? This is designed to fire up the crowd, so they're going to be flying all over the place. Chris, go ahead.
A prediction: Lio Rush quits in the middle of the match, retires,
comes back as Rey Mysterio.
Mysterio.
Next up, IWGP Women's Title Match: Kairi defending against Tam Nakano. Sasha Banks, baby. Mercedes Moné, whatever her name's going to be. She comes
Mercedes Moné.
Yep, she's Mercedes Moné. Brandon,
did you just make that up?
No. It's one of the names that are floating around that she might come out as.
Okay.
She trademarked a bunch of shit before she flew over here. So, there's some speculation. Some of it might just be her weed. She might have names for her weed that she's grown that she's going to market. So I don't know. Don't get caught with weed over in Japan there, Sasha. You'll be in jail until you can get out. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, it sounds like Tam Nakano just took a beating a couple days ago. Got her ass kicked a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't impact her performance here too much. What's the pop going to be like if we do see Mercedes Moné now that we can cheer? How big of a deal is she going to be over there? I'm interested. Where does this go? I don't know. I don't know how they're going to fit her into this in a meaningful way. It seems like it's a foregone conclusion or that she's going to appear at some point, but once she's out there, how do we make this meaningful? I think that's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, it's we understate the importance of WWE to the Japanese audience, I guess, we don't state it at all. We have no idea. They might know her more from Star Wars, you know what I mean, properties. They don't you can talk about her being like our rumor mill is going crazy over here. I don't know what the Japanese fan base are talking about. They might not give a shit. That's a curious fucking point to make because there's going to be a lot of foreigners there. They're really hyping it up, and now with the cheering, people are excited to go over there. But what's the reaction from the Japanese fan base going to be? We're going to get polite clapping? I don't know.
There's a lot of layers to this that I genuinely just have no idea about. How much does the New Japan WrestleKingdom crowd differ from the typical New Japan crowd? How much do they even care about Tam Nakano and Kairi relative to what the program that they're usually watching? And then from there, what does Sasha Banks do to change that? It'll be a bit of a spectacle here.
Yeah. And unlike U.S. wrestling, where you have spillover between WWE and AEW, a lot of wrestling fans are just fans of specific companies sometimes. Plus, there's so many companies. So, is there going to be a large contingent of just Stardom fans that are there for the Kyrie match, and they're going to sit through the rest of the? I don't know.
I think that's a high price to pay if that's all you're interested in, right?
Right. I mean, I guess it's just the spectacle of WrestleKingdom. You're excited about that, but I don't know. This is a big question mark for me because with the crossover show, I'm pretty sure you had like 50-50 between New Japan fans and fans of Stardom, but I don't know if all those bone bag boys, if they can't sit in the front row looking at Tom Nakano, I don't know if they're going to go. Bone bag boys up in the top row of the Tokyo Dome? Oh, well, they might actually be beating it up there.
Get the binocs out.
I'm just going to get close to her. Get really close to her lips. Chris?
I don't know. I think that just to have somebody at the level of Mercedes Banks to come and, a WWE star at that level, even if you don't really know who they are, it's a big deal in Japan. Maybe. I don't know. I think that might be a big thing.
The question
but the question is maybe. But other than that, this is, this isn't something that is like, where is New Japan going to fit her in? Because if she's there, she may not even fucking be involved.
Obari said she's going to be there. She might be there. That's what he said.
Might be there. Yeah. But it's like she might not even be involved. And it looks like this IWGP Women's Championship thing is going to float between the two products.
It is.
Maybe, and how often do we see Kyrie? I mean, we've seen her a couple times in the last few months and she was injured, but it didn't look like they were looking to do a ton with her all the time anyway. She looked to be a bit of an attraction.
Yeah, she's a part-timer.
Right? And I would assume that that Monet Vernado would be look, she's going to want to get back to fucking the U.S. as quickly as possible to hit up every goddamn convention she can between now and the next time she has a match or an appearance somewhere. Because she's going to make a lot of money, this woman. You're going to be doing these comic book conventions that you don't need permission for. You have to give none of your money to WWE for showing up.
Oh, by the way,
you don't have to give $1 million fucking dollars. Yep. Any of that $1 million you made in a goddamn month.
Props to Amanda Sacamano or whatever the hell her name is.
Yeah, man,
making $1 million. Fucking, whatever the hell she's OnlyFans or whatever it is. Made $1 million in a month. You know what she should go do? Go take bumps for WWE in fucking Reading, PA.
Yeah, right.
Fuck out of here.
Go get strangled and almost murdered by Ronda Rousey tripping over her own feet.
Oh my God.
It's just so ridiculous. And I will tell you this. Mandy Rose, whatever. And then I Googled her and found that her name was like Amanda Sacamano. And I was
Amanda Sacamano from Hoboken, New Jersey.
Yeah, Amanda Sacamano. Bob Sacamano's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when she should bring her new gimmick. She would come like down to the ring with like, the fucking Willard, the Willard thing one week, the fucking rat hat.
The rat hat.
Next week.
Bob Sacamano's daughter.
Horse meat.
We're making jokes and everything. This is a big fucking deal for the Western audience.
It is.
And it's going to be massive. And they're going to be very upset when TV Asahi strikes down all their gifts. Gets them a copyright fucking infringement.
Yep, and they're gonna have to fucking pay. They're gonna have to fork it over.
Yep.
They have been.
Good.
I will tell you this: they haven't been doing a good job of putting short videos up on Instagram, but they're in control of them. But they've been doing a good job of that.
Yeah, we talked about it before. Their corporate need to cut people down because they own the product. It's not New Japan. This is a TV Asahi thing.
Mm-hmm.
They own the product and it's theirs and they don't care. It's such a Japanese thing. Like they're missing the forest through the trees type of thing.
No, 100%. They're missing the forest that you kill yourself in through the trees.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. I'm going there next time.
Suicide forest.
See you later.
Later, guys.
Yeah, I'm seeing you. I'll be like, I'll see you guys. I'm just gonna walk into the forest. Will I return? Don't know. Brandon, final thoughts on this match, guy.
If you were going to go to the Japanese suicide forest, you taking your Yuki cards in there with you for one last?
Yuki? Yes, one last wank. I want a paper cut. I'm just gonna
Gonna go
take
out-
these plastic things. Just
Go out
Suicide
carotene
Forest.
style, lay them out on the ground in front of you.
Signed, bro. Fucking signed. She's fucking babe. Anyway, let's move on. IWGP Tag Team title. FTR versus Bishamon. Bishamon's winning this, right, Brandon?
Yeah, we're undoing the 2022 of FTR here. I'm assuming get to see Yoshihashi win a belt at WrestleKingdom. We know at least one woman that's going to be freaking out over this.
Yes, you will.
Yoshihashi's #1 fan. So,
Chris.
Yeah, we talked about this before, right? Like, let's get these titles off these guys so they can just focus on AW. This makes me sick. That's why I don't like saying it.
Yeah.
I'm just voicing my just boredom with it.
How about New Japan World Television Title Tournament final match? ZSJ with his bleach blonde hair now.
Looks fantastic.
He looks great versus Ren Narita, who looked like a baby Masachono with his glasses. Brandon, thoughts?
yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for this. You guys just touched on it, but bleach blonde ZSJ, very cool looking, very handsome guy.
He is very attractive. Chris?
Nah, and they put it in a good. If the card plays out the way that you're bringing it, they put it in a good spot. A tag team match that's going to be like whatever. There's something that I think that the Japanese fans will be kind of like, is FTR.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this.
I don't know if they even know them.
Like, you're the champs? What?
Mm-hmm.
Poor Yoshihashi is going to win the champ over a
Yoshihashi.
bunch of nobodies to the Japanese fans.
But they got to get them. I mean, look, I'm not knocking FTR. They put some great matches on, but I
They're
don't
great.
anybody knows really who they are in Japan.
But this CSJ match, this is one where you can like really. This might be the first time you really see how loud this crowd's going to get for the night.
Yep.
This could be fun.
This match is
Yeah.
going to be so good that Brandon's going to drop all his meatballs on the floor.
No, I don't know if we're
Ow.
doing it. I don't know if
Ow.
we're going to be able to do it. I didn't make any meatballs.
Oh, that's right. You had.
We got
you
COVID
had-
in my house. I don't
That's
know.
right.
I don't think
That's
it's a
what you were
smart thing to
talking
do.
about. That's right. Now.
Yeah. I do want to. I would like to, but I mean, even my wife, I think she's off work till Thursday. She can't. They won't let her go back. And I'd mentioned like maybe at the house, but then she's like, "Wait, I have COVID. You can't have anybody over. I'm in quarantine."
You get COVID, you'll be fine.
Yeah, fuck.
Fuck it.
She was pretty sick. First time she got it, she wasn't so sick.
Well, I'll tell you this. Since we were talking about this, I wasn't feeling well, and I tested positive for COVID
When?
last week, and then I tested myself again, and I tested negative for COVID the same day.
Well,
And then I tested myself a third time that day and tested negative for COVID, and then I tested
Interesting.
myself 2 days later and tested negative for COVID again.
okay. Well, you might have been on the
Was-
back end of it.
Maybe. I mean, I didn't go anywhere. I didn't
Right.
leave the house. Until I got that. Because
You're
we
more
had-
likely to have
had
a
a
false
bunch of-
negative than you are a false positive with the test.
Yeah, but that's why I did 3 times. And by the time I took the last one, because I didn't leave the house the entire week.
Right.
By the time I took the last one, I was feeling fantastic for like it was one day that I felt bad, and then
Right.
the next 2 days I felt fine.
Well, she's been in bad shape for like 2 days, at least 3
Yeah.
days, 2-3 days. But the one day she was just on the couch all day, just aching. She's sneezing too. That's a new thing. This new
Yeah.
variant, you sneeze a
Yeah.
bunch. You're sneezing like crazy.
So, but I mean, if I did have it, I didn't know that I had it until I felt like crap, and then I took it and I had it, and then the next day I didn't have it anymore.
There you go.
It was just really weird. So
I don't
but
care, yeah.
I stayed
Maybe
home.
you got
for
a
few days
dusting.
anyway. Got a little sprinkling of it. Also, could have been a bad test. You know, they pump these things out. I'm not conspiracy theorying it, but you pump out enough of a product, you're going to send some shitty ones out there.
That's right.
You know what I mean? They were just like, make them, send them to everybody. Dun, 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 dun. I had a stack of them.
I still do.
Yeah.
They were giving away for
Take
free. I was
another
like,
one,
fuck it, I'll
take
take it.
another one, take another one. And my wife's, she works for the Department of Defense. They were like, take them all. So,
They did the Operation Airdrop. They dropped
yeah,
it off.
Dumbo dropped it.
Dumbo drop.
Dropped it on the back of an elephant.
So who do we think's winning this, by the way? Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ren Narita. Of course, the mandate by New Japan to say that they're going to try to go younger. Good Zack or Ren? Brennan?
I feel like we've picked more Zack Sabre Jr. matches wrong than anybody else. He just
Yeah.
loses a lot.
He does. Chris?
I don't know. It would be nice to see him not crying about losing.
He
And
has
he's-
never had a singles title.
And he's Well, he had a bunch of singles titles. None of them in New Japan.
New Japan, yeah.
Yeah, but like to see that dude with a belt, he's fucking incorrigible. I mean, that's his whole deal. So I kind of like him with a belt. Makes me happy. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
I
want to
no
see
real
ZSJ. I want ZSJ.
So do I.
I want to see him with a belt. He's earned it. Never openweight title match. Talk about belts. Talk about excitement. Talk about taking a shit during a match. Carl Anderson defends against Tama Tonga. This is going to be so good.
Fuck. Yeah, fuck you, dude.
This is what I'm saving all of the meatballs for. I'm going to be building up a nice horse pile to unload for 9 minutes and 57 seconds turn.
Horse pile.
Going to drop a horse pile at the Lorraine part of it.
Nice. Chris?
I don't give a fuck.
Tama Tonga wins.
Yeah, Carl Anderson. Who the fuck cares? And somebody I was reading on somebody tweeted New Japan tweeted out the video of the press conference and him walking in. First of all, it's like, why are you there? Second of all, it's like, who cares, right? Like, why are you there? But second of all, it's like somebody said WWE's sending their talent, and I just talent over to New Japan now, and I just really felt like commenting talent with a question mark.
Yeah.
Can you think of a thing that could happen during this that you would be like,
no.
Yeah. Carl Anderson comes down on a zip line and dies. It breaks and he dies.
Carl Anderson gets hit like with a wrestling punch, and his head just explodes. Like,
Nice.
that's just a.
No interest in this whatsoever.
None.
Tama Tonga wins.
None.
6-man tag match. Hiroshi Tanahashi, Kenji Muto, and Shota Umino versus the Los Ingobernables de Japón match team. Bushi, Sanada, and Tetsuya Naito. Shota Umino, I think he's getting the pinfall against Bushi. Yeah, I like Shota Umino versus Tetsuya Naito. I'm into it. Most importantly, how many bumps does Kenji Muto? What's the over-under? 2 bumps?
0.
2.5. Yeah, I think it's 2.5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go under.
Under 2.5. This shouldn't go on for long. This will be more pomp and circumstance than it will be wrestling. And I think Bud Dog Bushi here is taking the pin, obviously.
Yeah. Chris?
Yeah, it seems about right. This is definitely you should save up, in my opinion, a massive dump, and then take it between the two matches because fucking Muda, it's just sad. I don't want to see it. And then I mean, I think the last match he had was against another wrestler who I couldn't even, and I know this is probably sacrilege to some people, couldn't possibly even care less about. Almost as little, I don't have the opinion of him as they do as Carl Anderson, but a wrestler I care about just about the same, and that's fucking Nakamura right now.
Wow. That is sacrilege.
Well, they've never done what has he done? And it's not him.
What are you talking about? Where?
Like, since he left.
Oh, see, I don't know.
Yeah,
I assumed he just retired because I don't watch him anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's just like, I get it. It's cool. They brought him over for that.
His career ended for me when he left NXT.
When he left NXT, that was it. Yeah. When they brought him out to wrestle AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
And it stunk.
And I was like, what?
Because WWE's like, you got to tone down your style. It looks too real. Stop kicking and hitting people.
Wait. They were like, Mr. McMahon, what do you want us to do with this match? I don't give a shit. I'm fucking my secretary.
Oh, my God. Good Lord. True story, by the way. Do you like Nakamura, Brandon? Are you still on board the Nakamura train? I am.
How? Where is that train? Where do you catch that train, Jim?
Oh, it just dropped him off in a Noah show on January 1st.
Where do you catch? Yeah, it's Muda.
Yeah.
Like Muda is a real monster now.
Did you see the press conference where Muda, the great Muda, called him queer?
No.
Did you see this?
Yeah. Did he call him that, or did he use a different word?
He said queer.
Did he?
He's queer. He's queer. Oh no, queer. Maybe he queer. Because he kissed him and sucked the mist out and sprayed it.
Oh, is that what happened? Nice. Yeah. That's actually a great ending.
Don't know. Maybe he's queer.
Fucking great ending.
He gets up and goes bye-bye and leaves.
Seriously, I didn't see it, but the way you just described that's a fucking brilliant finish. It's a brilliant finish. Yeah. It's fuck. I love that. I wish I had seen it now.
What's his name?
To suck the Muda's mist right out of him.
It's
Yeah,
just
right
like
out of his
nobody's ever done that before. At least it's
Right.
different, right?
I was just gonna. I'm gonna shit on your parade. Osprey did it to Bushi once.
Oh, did he?
They sucked the mist right out of his face and sprayed it. in his face.
Nice. All right. Well, then I'm sorry. I didn't see it. But
That's
that's
okay.
even Osprey doing it to Bushi is a great ending.
Yeah. Be queer. Bye bye.
He should have just been like,
Time to go, pop up.
he should turn into that mist. He queer. Bye bye.
Queer. Bye bye. People are shocked that a 65-year-old man would call a guy queer because he kissed him.
Oh, who fucking
You believe that?
cares?
Grandpa and uncle. I don't. Your racist uncle.
Who
That's not
gives a
racist. That's
shit? I just don't give a shit.
IWGP Junior Heavyweight Title match, 4-way match: Taiji Ishimori versus El Desperado versus Takahashi versus Master Watts. This should be a fucking. I think this is like low key going to be like match of the night. This should be fucking insane. Brandon thoughts.
Yeah, this will be fun. Except for Master Watto, who I just don't really care about. Talk about a butt dog, Master Watto. Does he win this whole thing, or they stick him with the champion? That's the question, I guess.
I don't know. Did I send you guys the promo of them talking? Master Watto's talking about like, oh, Taiji Ishimori is a dog. El Desperado's a dog. Promo Takahashi's a cat, and they all just were like, he's an idiot. He's stupid. He's so stupid. They were talking about Master.
That's hilarious. These are like I don't watch these guys as much as probably most New Japan fans do. So I think this will be really fun for me. But this has kind of been the same circle going around for a little bit of time here.
Yep. Chris, thoughts?
Well, it's the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. That is always the same circle of dudes going around over and over again. It always has been.
Kushida's
Tiger
up
Mask versus Dynamite Kid 8 million
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, great.
Kushida's next. So there you go. The cycle never ends.
Yeah.
He came back to just do the exact same thing he was doing before he left.
Yeah, doing it at home. I guess
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah. I think I'm going to say Master Watto wins. Give him his crowning achievement as the most boring of the four of these guys.
fucking garbage can.
IWGP United States Heavyweight Title. Will Ospreay, the champ, defends against Kenny Omega. Will Ospreay doing a killer fucking job hyping this up at the press conference. This is fucking good. This is the main event, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to say it. I love Kazuchi Okada. I like Jay White, but this is the only one that feels like it's got some fucking heat behind it. Brandon?
Yeah, absolutely. I still am a holdout as I just don't care that much about Will Ospreay. But hey, I don't let's put that to the side tonight, this morning, the early hours of the morning here. This is going to be a big fucking deal. I don't have any doubt in my mind that they're going to have a wild match. The ceiling for this is pretty high.
Yeah.
This is going to be one where if the acid wash jeans pop up, Mr. Meltzer wants to come out and give this like a 6-star or something, and no one's going to shut up about it for a long time.
Right. Yeah. He goes 8 stars on this match. No one's gonna. We're gonna have to listen to that for the next 10 years until
It's
he gets
going to
somebody
be a
9
big
stars.
thing. Yeah, like this could be like
Chris, thoughts?
I have a feeling that as of this minute, Meltzer is in his acid wash jeans and his Bruiser Brody t-shirt, and he's rolling around in a pile of Kenny Omega shit like a dog right now. Like, and he's like, well, I was, yeah. I mean, I was rolling around in his poop, and it's 6 stars, and it's just like, I mean, that's what they said. You know, there's that other thing, and so, I would like to congratulate Will Ospreay on using the perfect adjective to describe everything about Kenny Omega.
Yes, he did. Go ahead.
That's cunt.
It was so good.
Because he is everything about that dude, his fucking cunty promos, his cunty talking to no one, his cunty haircut, his cunty mug with his cunty glasses. You know, I mean, this is this is going to be great. Hopefully Ospreay wins.
I think he does.
Yeah, I don't see. I mean, Kenny Omega looks like they want, he's an AEW guy. When we say there are moments when wrestling crosses that line into reality. And the last one I saw that was that realistic, whether it was or it wasn't.
You're talking about the promo by Ospreay?
Promo by Ospreay. The last thing in wrestling I saw that was that realistic, whether it was real or not, was Charlotte Flair crying about her dad.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he was girls pregnant? Woo, woo, woo. She's like, you're a fucking asshole. Go
You're a fucking embarrassment.
And he was like, course you.
Oh God.
Course you.
Here we go. Also, yeah, we get big laughs out of the just to talk about Ric Flair for a second. We get big laughs out of the no context Ric Flair vids you send, but one of the problems I have with the no context is they always put a context in the no context. It's always meme form, so that's a context that drives you nuts, but they are funny.
Rick's longtime partner. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Stop it.
Gosh, stop
Let
it.
me tell you something.
That's what I'm going to sound like when I go with my cards into the suicide forest.
Let me tell you something. I saw a camera angle from that the other side. I forgot. Right there, he's acting like he's having a heart attack.
Yeah,
And
he's
then he
faking a heart
thumbs
attack.
him in the
He
fuck-
thumbs him in the eye. Insane.
That's gonna be his last words. And his motherfucker was rooting for Michigan on fucking Saturday.
He was what?
All last year, he was at Georgia Bulldogs. He was at all the Georgia Bulldogs football games. Woo,
Well, they'll pay him.
woo, woo. Yeah, I get it. But it's like, you kind of represent. Well, you can't This is like you're supposed to be coming off as a fan, right? We know you're paying it, but you're supposed to be coming off as a fan. You wrestled in fucking Georgia and North Carolina. It made sense. And then on a day that both Georgia and fucking Michigan are playing on the same fucking day, and you're like, yeah, I like Michigan now. Fuck it.
They paid me more.
What's his name? Bishop always says it. You know, Rick. He'll root for whatever team pays him more money. Don't give a shit.
Right.
Woo.
The not main event, last match on the card, IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, Jay White, the champ against Kazuchika Okada. I'm sure it's going to be a great match. They're both great fucking workers, but I think I'm going to be a little gassed after this Will Ospreay Kenny Omega match. Brandon, go.
Yeah, big question mark at the end here. Everybody's going to be gassed, right? What can they do to kind of feel like a main event here? I think there's potential for this to steal the show just because of the two people in the ring. I mean, Okada is probably the most talented wrestler on the planet. Still doesn't feel like that long ago to me. I guess it was 2 WrestleKingdoms ago. I left being like Jay White's my favorite pro wrestler on the planet.
2 years
Boy,
ago.
has he cooled off pretty quickly here. It could be something, but this is our third time kind of going through this card. This time in the most detail, but we had left each of these conversations being like, well, we'll see what they do in the next 2 weeks. We'll see what they do in the next week. Here we are 12 hours away, and I think the answer to that was pretty much nothing, right, Jim?
Right. Yeah. Well, the problem I'm having. Okay, so they've built up. 3 weeks ago, we started talking about this, right? And I had said, well, I'm going to save it for my prediction on what I think is going to happen with this match. This match is lacking gas. It's lacking any kind of drama. It's just Kazuchika Okada defeating the big bad guy, the creep, Jay White. Story enough, I guess, good overcoming evil. And I was thinking 3 weeks ago, I was like, okay, well, where's Shota Umino on this card? Shota Umino's in the match with Tetsuya Naito. He's with Tanahashi. He's the heir apparent. We're pretty much doing with Kenji Muto, Tanahashi, and Umino, we're doing past, and future. You know what I mean? Like past, present, future thing. I was thinking, okay, after the match, maybe Shota Umino comes out and attacks Okada or challenges Okada when he wins, because we think he's going to win, right? But he's deep in a storyline with Tetsuya Naito. Like, they're going to keep going with this, I think. And I guess this is a good first feud for Shota Umino. Don't just throw him right into the main event. Also, we talked about Jay White possibly leaving, the way he feels like he's just completely disconnected from New Japan right now. But I sent you guys a link. Jay White's got a brand new fucking t-shirt. He's not going anywhere. Company's not going to fucking, if he hasn't signed through the year, why are they going to sell his t-shirt? Doesn't make any sense. This is the other option, I think. We talked about Shingo Takagi. He's not doing anything. He's not on the card. He might not be in this King of Pro Wrestling match. There is a possibility he might go do AEW. Sure, fine. Him coming out and challenging for the title would be huge. That's a big matchup that people want to see with a crowd that cheers. We know Shingo Takagi can put on amazing fucking matches. Him versus Okada would be a great fucking match. Or him versus Jay White would be a great fucking match. We usually get somebody come out and challenge at the end of the show. It's usually the build for next WrestleKingdom and for the following shows. I'm curious how this goes. We get a couple of options, but I don't think that this matchup has enough juice, and the only way to get some juice into it, to get some excitement into it, is have it end with something big where we're looking forward to it. Shingo Takagi, the thing that's going to make everybody go out of their seats? In Japan, it might. I mean, I'd be excited to see the match. It builds to something. Then we get the show right after too, New Year Dash, which will explain a lot. But we get a couple options here, and we don't know what the fuck it is, which is kind of curious. But it makes me, if anything, that makes me want to watch the match. Is that I don't know where it's going and where it's going in the future from this match. Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't want to steal anything from Chris, but
How dare you?
what's the precedent for this? I think I've watched this is the fourth or fifth year I'm watching WrestleKingdom, and it feels like this is something that they don't do. They wouldn't have the main event be sort of lost or not meaningful, which it feels like this has the potential to do. As you said, as that last sentence came out of your mouth, I was thinking it's funny how something that I would generally be so excited about is that the abyss of like, who the fuck knows what's going to happen here feels like a negative.
Right. No, I agree, because it's like with okay, so
Maybe it shouldn't be.
When Omega was leaving, and everybody knew Omega was leaving, he faced Tanahashi that was the title match. But that was massive. And when Tanahashi won, like, I was openly weeping watching because I love Tanahashi. But you kind of knew it was a farewell. You know what I mean? You knew Omega was leaving. So it was like Omega's leaving. He's going off. Tanahashi's going to save us. He's going to hold the belt. Of course, he lost immediately in his first defense. But there was like that question. The question was answered for us because we knew that Omega was leaving. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going to happen. Is this Jay White? I don't know. Which, you're right. It's like we like to be surprised, and we don't like to leave, predictions out there. And I like being surprised. I like to be shocked. But the problem is that there's nothing to look at. There's no like end point for this match where you're like, I think this is what's going to happen. No, I don't know what the fuck is going to happen. So that surprise isn't really a surprise. It's more, like you said, a void of excitement. Did that make any sense?
Completely, yeah.
Yeah. Chris, thoughts?
I think Mercedes Tornado is going to come out at the end of the match and challenge Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
I used to have a fan that was called a Vornado.
Vornado. They used to make what do you call it? Thermostats.
For a Vornado.
Nah, you guys covered it. I really don't have much to say past that. I mean, it's I've seen this match, and not only have I seen this match, I've seen this match years ago.
Right.
So it's kind of hard for me to get. Yeah, right. And a lot of people left because Madison Square Stadium won the Ring of Honor World Championship. So yeah, I mean it's
everybody went out front to watch him change the letters on the side of the building from Garden to MST. Sorry to cut you off.
Nah, it's fine. It was better than anything I was gonna say. That's it. I got nothing.
Okay. I'm excited. I mean,
you guys
what's your
covered it.
excitement level? Level like up to 10. What's your excitement level for WrestleKingdom, Brandon?
8.
Okay, 8. That's a solid number. I'd say I'm a solid 8. As it gets closer to it, depending on whether I get a nap or not tonight. I'm thinking about making some karage, make some noodles, I'm gonna have some fucking ice cold beers. I bought a bottle of sake. I'm ready to go. I don't think we're getting together though. It's not happening. Hate to shit on your parade, brother.
Bum, bum, bum.
If you're gonna stay up and watch it, you might have to drop the $9 or $7.50 for the month and rent it.
I mean, you don't have to twist my arm to not get an Uber at 1:30 in the morning over to
go
over
freeze
to
our.
somewhere.
Well, it's actually not that cold out this year. A couple of those years it was freezing. Chris, what's your excitement level out of 10?
I'd say about a 6.5, 7.
Okay.
7, I'd say 6.98.
Okay. Out of 100, what's the percentage of you staying up and watching it?
0.
Okay. Absolutely not.
0.46.
Okay. 4.6.
I mean, and that's
you might
one of
wake
the-
up in the middle of the night from like insomnia and be like, let me throw it on.
That's one of the reasons why I'm really not that excited, is because I know I'm going to end up getting everything spoiled in the morning.
Right.
So,
Is there any chance you'll wake up in the morning and put it on right away?
Yeah, and most likely I might, judging by how early I get up some days, I might be up before it even ends.
Right. I've done that
So,
before too.
yeah.
Like I've fallen asleep during the match, woke up, and then just turned it on and caught the end.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Kota. What match was it? Kota Ibushi, I guess. Kota Ibushi, Jay White that year.
Yeah.
I was like woke up at the end. Also, that's right. Kota Ibushi's been spotted with Obari and what's his name? They were at
The Stardom guy with the hat.
no, that's Rosie Ogawa. Obari and what the fuck's the other guy for New Japan? They were together at that weird ass fucking martial arts tournament with the smoke around the ring.
What
They
the
were there.
fuck was that?
They were there. Japanese love that shoot fucking fighting stuff, man. The worked shoot stuff. They love it. They were spotted together. That's another option, which I forgot to bring up. We get Kota Ibushi at the end of this fucking show. Now that's a fucking shock. Kota Ibushi comes out at the end of the show. Shit, I forgot to even bring it up. Brandon.
Yeah, I was thinking it earlier. But it doesn't I just stayed away from that topic because of all of the conversation behind it. But if all of that's resolved, and just as a fan, when I think of the most fun I've had watching WrestleKingdom, he's usually involved.
Yeah, best match I think in WrestleKingdom history is him versus Nakamura.
What about the brainless Katsuyori Shibata?
Yeah, I don't think he's wrestling.
He fought Tom Lawler a couple days ago. He can't
in that martial arts
smoke room.
Oh,
In the
yeah.
smoke
Cool
room.
was
martial
that
arts.
So did
I wish I knew about that.
Barnett fought on that.
Yeah, I think the
If
funny
you
thing
give
is
Josh Barnett $100, he'll fight in your fucking basement. That dude doesn't give a fuck.
you need that dude in the gut. The guy fell over. I think that's going to be one of those shows that's lost to history because there was no stream of it.
Yeah.
Like we're never going to be able to see it, which kind of sucks because I was really like looking for it for a minute there. All the footage I've seen is all handheld cameras from like phone videos from the stadium. I haven't seen any like feed of it.
I know.
Okay.
What a strange fucking thing. I genuinely was like, for the first time in a while, I was dropped everything. I was like, I'm going to buy this and watch it right now. Couldn't.
Not available. Chris?
No, I was just gonna say fucking Josh Barnett. That dude's out of his fucking mind. Where did he go to Poland and they beat the shit out of some tattooed guy on some Russian streaming service? Kicked the dog shit out of him. And that was legit. It was bare knuckled. The fucking tattooed guy looked like he had get hit by a fucking like meat grinder.
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my God.
Was it the tattoo guy from AW that came out and beat up
I'm tuned out because of him.
Keith Lee?
All the women
It might as well have been.
all the women that you have on that roster that we don't see, all the top talent women, we get 5 minutes a fucking week, and you're wasting time on this fucking dude with the tattoos on his face.
We will talk about this in our year end. We're going to have a big discussion on our best of. That's another thing, real quick, before we close up and we're starting. And Brandon, you have any final thoughts before we move on?
No, I was going to say, Chris, I think you had one rant in you about 2023 wrestling. I don't want to lose to.
Save it.
No, I'm going to say that, but I do have something else. Though. I can go to Jim.
Go ahead.
This is more directed at Jim.
What'd I do?
Well, there was a death in the let's say Philadelphia area independent wrestling scene.
Dennis Corluzzo?
No, one of Jim's favorite people in the world throughout history, favorite entertainers ever. And he was loosely involved in the independent wrestling scene in the area. Fred Schreiber. Do you know who that is, Jim?
No, I have no idea.
He may also be known as the colloquial Fred the Elephant Boy from the Howard Stern show.
Fuck. Fucking guy sucked.
It's Fred the Elephant Boy is at SW. I think he may have been on WWE.
Oh yeah, I remember this guy.
Fuck that guy.
Well,
Fucking
Jim,
hate that dude.
you won. He's dead.
Good. I win.
I said, Jim, it doesn't like me. And they were talking about him on Stern today, and they were saying how he used to show up at everything. And I'm going to tell this story, even though we don't talk about this kind of shit.
Good.
This guy went to go meet Gary Delabate at a signing.
Gary Delabate being one of the
Stern
producers of Stern. Yeah, but not everybody might.
Everybody shouldn't. If you don't get serious, I'm done. I want to end this. I'm eliminating words.
Go.
He goes to this autograph signing at an auto dealership, and on his way on the subway, he shits his pants.
Who, the Elephant Boy?
Yeah, the Elephant Boy. He shits his pants on the subway. And instead of going home and changing his pants, he throws his underwear out. He was wearing shorts, so he shows up at the autograph signing with driblets of shit on his leg and on his socks, and he was cleaning them off with a tarp.
A tarp?
Yeah, like there's a tarp somewhere. And they played the audio, and Gary says, Fred, were you cleaning the shit off your legs with the tarp? He said, yeah, that's how I had to live.
That's where I have to live?
That's when I had to leave. That's when I decided it's time to go. Not while you were sitting on this, walking around with shitty fucking drawers. Shit himself on the subway. Ran down his leg, and he's still wet.
Jesus Christ. Fuck that guy. Glad he's dead.
I think he was at a not CZW, 3PW show we went to, and one of the guys that went through a Gatorade bottle in his fucking head, missed the painage. Mind you, the guy that threw it's a horrible individual.
Nice.
Whew, that's a good one though.
Good stuff. R.I.P. Elephant Boy.
Dead.
All right, let's go through this real quick. Stuff we're going to talk about for our best of, because we're going to be talking about, I think, 2 weeks. I mean, start getting your shit together, because I think 2 weeks is
My shit together.
Oh, my shit is not together.
All right, start getting your shit together. 2 weeks, because next week we'll do WrestleKingdom. We'll review WrestleKingdom. Best pro wrestler, all genders. Here's the categories. Favorite pro wrestler, all genders. Best match, best show, favorite moment, worst moment, biggest surprise, best storyline, best newcomer, hardest to watch, of course, because wrestling is hard. We're going to do best promotion of the year, and we're going to do breakout star of the year. And we're also going to predict for next year what we think some of these categories. You know what I mean? Like breakout star, best, where we're going to go in 2023. So, Chris, save your rant for next week, because we'll all have one.
Okay.
2 weeks. Sorry.
Okay.
Ray, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Reloading.
No, I'm in. We'll see if we stay up tonight.
I'll be texting you at some point. If your phone's buzzing, you know who it is.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what we get. Hopefully we have something fun to talk about next week. Oh, I know we'll have something fun to talk about next week. Hopefully we
always
get
have
some surprises. Yeah.
Chris, final thoughts?
Nah, we nailed it.
All right, awesome.
R.I.P. Fred the Elephant Boy.
Yeah, fuck him.
And his shitty legs.
A tarp, arguably the worst thing to try to clean yourself with.
The worst thing to clean anything with is a tarp.
You might as well use a plastic bag. Like, what the fuck are you doing? That happened to me before, though.
Known for being completely unabsorbent.
It repels.
Yeah. Plastic. Let me use this Tupperware to clean the shit off my ass.
God, you were just about to tell a story when you had to do something, Jim. I want to hear it.
Okay, one time I had white shorts on because it was the late 80s, early 90s. And I had diarrhea, so I went in the woods and took a shit. And I used my underwear to wipe the shit off. But then I started sweating because it was summertime.
Oh,
I had to call for help. I called for help and got picked up.
Delivery shorts?
No. I had to get taken home. I had to do a full hose. I shit my socks. There you go. There you go.
Oh, that's so good. I like every once in a while. Once or twice a year, we get a new diarrhea story.
Oh, I've got
and 90% of them are from Jim.
Yeah, it's all you need.
I'll tell you this. One of the things I've been happy about in 2022 was the emergence in my Instagram Reels feed of people trying to light their farts on fire and the bulge appearing in their underwear. As
I think they're fake, but they're still
who
funny.
cares? Fucking
They're still funny
hilarious.
as shit. I love them.
Don't take away the magic.
That's one of
WrestleKingdom week.
the last phases of losing self-respect is becoming comfortable with the amount of times that you look down and there's shit all over your legs and socks. There's not much. If you can tolerate that, there's not much.
When you go from partner to patient, yeah, that's a good time in life.
I'll never forget. We're working. This guy's probably long dead, so I don't give a shit. We're working. I was working at Pizza Hut, and we had this dishwasher, and he was fucking. I mean, he was just a giant. He was not even giant. Frank Golden. He was a fucking bottle of whiskey. That's all he was. He was a walking bottle of whiskey, and he had this weird stutter, right? Where he'd be like, "Hey, Chris, can you make me? Can you make?" Shut up, you're fucking dying.
Come on,
Where do you hear
control
this?
yourself.
Hey, Chris, can you make me a large pizza with slice tomato? he would like it was a record skimming. Slice. I never heard anybody stutter like that in my life. Well, one day,
Wait, what is he saying?
sliced
Sliced tomatoes.
Oh,
Can you make me a-
Slice. It's like somebody was scratching on a record. And of course, before Jimmy and I really, basically fucking overran it, our attitudes overran the entire fucking place. Everybody was like quiet. Nobody would talk about this shit. And then one of us brought it up, and a couple of the managers who were like, fucking 22 or just fucking lost their minds because they were like they always wanted to say it, but they were afraid to. And
Weren't allowed to.
And they started fucking crying, laughing. But anyway, my buddy was working with me, and he comes around the corner. I was the early out, and he's like, "You're closing tonight." I was like, "No, I'm not." He's like, "Yeah, you are." I was like, "No, I'm not." I'm like, "Why? What the fuck?" He goes, "Frank shit his pants." Big smile. It's like, I'm like, "You motherfucker." And I listen to the dish room, and I hear, "I don't know what happened. It just came out." And shit, I had to take the bus home with shit all over his pants.
Alcohol, man.
Oh, God.
Funny story about that Pizza Hut. Funny story about that Pizza Hut. Maybe I told this story on the podcast. Maybe if I haven't, let me know.
Oh, it needs to be told again.
Okay, so I used to go out with this girl in the corner, and I wasn't allowed to leave my used condoms at her house. I had to take them with me, and I throw them down the sewer. I used to throw them down the sewer, so my hands would smell like rubber and fucking cum. Don't worry, I did wash them. Once I got to work, I washed them. But one time I forgot to throw it out, and it was still in my pocket.
Ooh.
So when I went to the bathroom to wash my hands and I realized that it was still in my pocket, I just laid it across the divider of the toilets. Like
Over the top?
Draping over the top. And I didn't tell anybody. And I washed my hands. And then later on, a couple hours later, a friend of mine came running. He was like, "Oh my God, someone left a used condom all over." It was tied off. A used condom full of dividers. And I was just like, "Oh, whoa, that's crazy. Let me see." I didn't tell anybody.
Somebody left the fucking used condom in the bathroom.
Remember, we used to go in the bathroom when people were in the restaurant. We would take a shit and just make all kinds of noise while we were shitting.
I remember one time we had a power outage there. Me and a guy went into the bathroom. We both had to shit because they gave us pizza because there was pizzas that were made and they couldn't do anything. They were like, "Eat these things." So we eat the pizzas and we both had to take a shit. You couldn't see. You go into a bathroom with fucking no power. It's fucking
black.
This.
Yeah.
Right? So he took a wad of paper towels and threw them in the middle and lit them on fire. So he fucking
started a trash fire for lighting the Pizza Hut bathroom.
couldn't see.
Good shit.
Oh, good
There you go.
shit.
We had a good time at that place.
So funny.
To be a teenager again. Thanks for joining us this week, and join us here every week at Wrestling is Hard. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Subscribe and follow, tell your friends. Get excited. Itenyon, January 4th, WrestleKingdom. Good time to be a wrestling fan. Get out there and watch it. Spend the fucking $7 and rent it. It's going to be worth it. For Brandon and Chris, I'm Jim, and we'll be back here next week.